It was a summer day in Wisconsin. The year was 1962. A young mother named Audrey Backenberg seemed to simply vanish, part of the fabric of her small town, raising her children, living her life. Then, she was gone. It was a mystery that would haunt her family for generations, a puzzle with no pieces. Her husband, a man named Daryl, told police she had walked out. He said she left with another man, carrying a suitcase. But was that the truth? Or was it a story told to hide something far more sinister? The questions started right away, and they would linger, unanswered for a very long time. Audrey was just 29 years old. She had 3 children. By all accounts, she was a devoted mother. And a cloud of uncertainty settled over the town, refusing to lift. As the years stretched into an eternity, the family's hope began to curdle into a grim acceptance. They started to believe Audrey was gone forever. They held a memorial service for her. They tried to find a way to grieve without a body. Her children grew up with a phantom for a mother. The official investigation stalled completely. The case was ice cold. Audrey Backenberg became a ghost, a name in a dusty file. Rumors swirled around the small Wisconsin community for years. Some whispered she'd run off. Others suspected Daryl knew more. He remarried a few years later. That remarriage only fueled gossip, but whispers and theories are not evidence. Without a body, without a confession, without a lead, the authorities were powerless. The mystery became local lore, a cautionary tale on quiet nights. 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. Her social security number was never used. No paper trail of any kind. The silence was deafening. It seemed to scream the one answer they always dreaded. Audrey was dead. Then, in 2021, something shifted. A new detective entered the picture. His name was Nathan Wandersee. He pulled Audrey's file from the shelf, blowing off the literal dust of decades. He saw the old reports, the scant interviews, the dead ends. But technology had evolved. DNA, genealogy websites, digital breadcrumbs. Detective Wandersee re-interviewed surviving family members. He listened. He felt the weight of their 60-year burden and made a promise to find an answer. He began by submitting a DNA sample from one of Audrey's children to a national database. While waiting, he dove into online genealogy, building branches, tracking every cousin. He searched for any connection that might lead to a new name. He cross-referenced names, dates, and locations. Then he got a hit. It wasn't a direct match, but it was something, a familial link to a family living in another state. He dug into that family, cross-referencing records until a photograph and documents aligned. A woman with a different name, a different life. But the age and history lined up. The detective made the call to local law enforcement where she lived, hundreds of miles away. They explained the DNA link and the possibility that this person was Audrey Backenberg. Local officers paid a cautious visit, knocking on a door that had been closed for 60 years. They asked her name. They asked another name, Audrey Backenberg. The woman, now in her late 80s, confirmed it. Yes, she was Audrey. She was alive. She was well. The news was stunning, incomprehensible. She was not the victim of a crime. She had not been abducted. She had left. Of her own free will, she had walked away from her life, her children, her past, and started over. She had remarried and lived quietly under a new name. She had built a new identity and guarded her secret for 60 years. Detective Wandersee delivered the news. Faces showed mixed emotions: relief, disbelief, pain. There was relief and the pain of abandonment. Audrey, through the police, asked for privacy. She did not wish to reconnect. The door that had been cracked open was gently but firmly closed again. Her children had found their mother, only to lose her again. This time, it was on her terms. The long, cold case was officially closed. The questions were answered. To us, she is the answer to a fascinating mystery. To her, she is a woman who wants to be left alone. Her story is a human drama filled with pain, secrets, and a fierce will to start again. A woman vanished, a family grieved, and a secret, held for a lifetime, was finally brought into the light. Be sure to like and subscribe to SCO's Media YouTube channel. Thank you.